Yes, now today is a big day. Today is the World Food Safety Day. We all love to eat. I'm sure some of you had your house cocoa this morning. Some of you are eating your wache. But it's really important for us to talk about food safety because if we are not sure how these meals are cooked, we're going to pay the price with our health. So our friends from the FDA are here to really help us appreciate why this day is so important and why we all need to be advocates of food safety. The theme this year is Safe Food Now for a Healthy Tomorrow. So we must all advocate for safe food today if we want to ensure that we are healthy tomorrow. And we have a special guest.
Yes. He is Percy Adubaku Ejekum, and he's with the FDA. He's going to help us to get into this conversation. Understand why is it even important to celebrate a day like this one? Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right. So first of all, why is this day an important day at all?
Thank you very much. First of all, on behalf of my CEO, Mr. Delesedakum, FDA appreciates the platform CTTV has offered FDA to speak to the general public on the need to eat safe food. Like you said, the theme is safe food now for a healthy tomorrow. I will give a summary, a picture, so that we can look at it. It is well noted, documented that if you take all the elements that we have on this world, in this world, 95% come from the food we eat.
Wow.
The rest, you just have to manage it. So that's why, as a country and globally, we must all take food safety issue very, very important. And based on the theme, the reason why safe food now for healthy tomorrow is that there is a lot of benefits to get from when you eat safe food. You become healthy. Like you generally say that a healthy country is what? A prosperous country. The more you eat safe food, the more you drink clean and safe water, the less you spend time visiting the hospital. It means you spend more time in the work you do, bringing prosperity to your individual and when you aggregate the general economy.
So Percy, what's the status of safe food in this country right now?
Good. The status, I would say that everybody is part of safe food because along the chain, everybody has a responsibility. There's a general statement we say that food safety is from farm to fork. So the time a food is harvested, how you harvest it, how you keep it, those that have kept cold storage, all will have effect on the safety of the product. Even in the farm, the agricultural practices you do in terms of when to apply pesticide residue, what time you have to wait for the chemical to degrade before you harvest will have effect on the safety. After harvesting, how do you keep the food? Those that have to be kept cold chain and the refrigeration should be kept refrigeration. It will shock you. You could open some people's fridges and we'll see that there are some food that they are deteriorated. Some food even growing. You can even find insects in some fridges. So that even as a consumer, that's our responsibility. At the manufacturing level, what do they have to do? The food must be properly cleaned. It must be washed. And especially those food that we have to eat immediately, like fresh fruits and vegetables. These are food that we have to even, because they go through minimal processing, therefore it must be well washed with clean water. So when we all do this, and regulators like FDA who have a mandate to ensure that the processing and the processes that the industry that add value to the food before they come to the food chain also does our part, then we can collectively say that we are playing our part to ensure that the food we eat is safe for everybody.
Now, you just talked about fruits and veggies. When we say keep clean, what exactly do we mean?
Keep clean means all the processes. For example, let's make it simple. When you are preparing food, either for commercial purpose in the restaurant or the catering, even at home for the family, even yourself, what environment do you keep do the preparation? There should be clean water to wash your ingredients. There should be water to wash your utensils. Surface must be well washed. Even you, the person washing and preparing the food, directly come to contact with the food, you must be clean so that the food that will come out will be clean. After that, the general environment, it will shock you. Our kitchens,
Especially some of the
places
restaurants.
that we prepare food, cook food, has become a habit of safe haven for rodents, cockroaches, houseflies. And these are the main agents that transport diseases and germs to basically feed on food. So this is what we need. Apart from washing the food, cleaning the environment, the general environment must also be kept clean.
So generally speaking, looking at the topic that we have, what are the activities that you have planned for this year's commemoration?
There are three, I would say three main. The first activity is there's going to be an expert discussion. When I say expert discussion, there are people we know, they have in-depth knowledge about food safety or how to make food safe. So these are actors, like I said, that along the food chain play a major role to ensure that the food we eat are safe. They will come together to share their institutional perspective, especially the COVID-19 pandemic. What have they done to actually impact on the food we eat, and also how we keep our body healthy. Don't forget, during the COVID, we were told that one of the key things we have to do is to maintain our boost our immune system. How do you boost it? It's basically the food we eat, the clean water we drink. So they all come and share their perspective, how collectively, individually have done, and collectively have helped us as a country manage the COVID. So that's the first one. And this is to be done through what to call any order, virtual, because the COVID wouldn't allow us to aggregate.
So we all join via Zoom.
Exactly. And also, apart from that, there's also going to be another one where we will engage what we call infographics, where we use graphics, imageries to send short messages on food safety issues along the general social media. We also know leave people who don't have the capacity to be able to be with us on the social platform. So when we go to our lorry parks, we're going to use their PA system to send messages to the general public, and also use the municipal authorities, their information vans. So as far as possible, we can reach out to everybody. But ultimately, the platform you're giving us enables us to reach the larger audience in terms of the general country and even globally.
Okay, Percy, we have to come back to the safe environment again, because a lot of us buy wache, we buy TZ, we buy fufu. Even when you go to some of the top restaurants in the country, we don't yet have this grading system where you can tell that, okay, perhaps FDA has graded this restaurant A, so their kitchen is clean. How do we ensure that these spaces are clean? And our utensils as well?
Yes, for the utensils, I always say this. At the point of purchase of a food to eat, you wouldn't have control as what happened at the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the opportunity you have, which you can easily do, what kind of environment are you buying the food? The person selling the food to you, how does the person look like? You can check some of them, even the clothing they are wearing. Are they in aprons? Are they in headgear? Basic. In terms of even fingernails, you can check. Because don't forget, fingernails can also become a safe haven for germs. Especially because of it, we add on even elongated. All these things, if you're not properly washed, it will come. So these are basic things you look. Also, generally, the environment, is it well kept? Is it along gutter? All those things are things that should be able to help you. But in terms of what FDA does, FDA licenses most of these, what to call it, kitchens. They are, yes, we license them. Okay, so that one we do.
Okay. And when it comes to our homes, how do we practically ensure that all of our utensils are cleaned well? We are not passing bacteria through the food that we make.
Very important in our homes. The first thing is that when you are about cooking, you make sure that you wash your utensils. Even if it's already washed, at least you do a little wash before you start. And also, mostly after cooking. Sometimes we are tired. Oh, let me leave the pot and those things by the next day. This is where we become more susceptible, because this is where the insects, the rodent feeds on. So they will now come, as you have slept, come and feed on the leftovers you left. So as much as possible, when you finish cooking, make sure you return the cooking area back to the level as you started, and also the leftovers, those that have to be refrigerated should be refrigerated. Those have to be frozen must be frozen. Don't leave them unattended to. And those that has to be binned, make sure you bin them, and our bins should be well covered. So when we do all this, we will not be providing the enabling environment for germs to actually thrive, to be able to affect that. But most importantly, let's take note. The most people that food safety unsafe food affect them are the vulnerable in our society, which we owe it a duty to protect them. And these are young infants, the aged, our pregnant women and lactating women, and unfortunately, people who may be living with or managing medical conditions like HIV, because their immune system are generally not strong, and therefore, when they get food poisoning through eating contaminated food, obviously they become the worst affected. They could lead to diarrhea or vomiting, and these are things you have to avoid.
Now, FDA has been doing a lot with, closing down shops that may even have ingredients in a different language, people that are not doing the right things. How do we get some of the people in the informal sector to also begin to prioritize our health as they are cooking for us?
It is through education and also direct intervention. Trust me, in every country, there's such group of people there, and they should be helped to survive, because that's their livelihood. Therefore, education like this or one-on-one interaction with them helps them to bring them to compliance. For example, last year, September, there was a project, a government project, between National Board for Small-Scale Industry and FDA, and ostensibly is to reach out to this cottage industry. People who see preparing shito, plantain, chips, peanut, those things. And by the close of March, when we did the analysis, we've reached out to as many as 390 companies who either two wouldn't have the opportunity to register their products. That's one. In terms of products, we put out over 600 different products. So these are direct activities that we are helping, so that those who don't have the knowledge base or the understanding to really ensure that food that are put on the market are safe, the estate or the institution with the mandate to ensure food safety also reach out there to support them. And the cost is also very small for them, because of the collaboration between the two governments.
Give us an average, because
on
there are
the
lots of
average, it's
people
200 cities, and when you 200, I break it down. The product registration is 150 cities, which is for 3 years, and the facility is 50 cities. And there's because there's a huge chunk of the cost which has been absorbed by the two institutions. For example, exactly. For example, in terms of analysis, FDA has taken it up to make sure that do all the analysis, microbial analysis, chemical analysis, to make sure the food is safe. There's a general fumigation that one they will do, and also in terms of the health screening to ensure that anybody whose activity involved coming to direct in contact the preparation of food are also safe. So when you put these three together, at minimum, they should be able to add value to their business. And there's one aspect of this which we started I think last 2 years, when there was a meeting between the CEO of Food and Drug Authority and the major retail outlets, where some of these products that you registered are referred to them. So it's not just helping them to add value to their product,
But also
and also
marketing.
add product, but also granting market access to them, which either two will never happen. So these are some of the things you are doing. So if you go to most of these outlets, sometimes find out and go, you could see that now they branded
Made in
most
Ghana
of these
products.
places made in Ghana. Is to try to link government policy of the 1DF, adding value to it and granting market access. This is how they interact.
Yeah. So we've spoken about keeping environment clean, washing saucepans, utensils, and then also, of course, the surfaces that we're using to cook. But let's talk about washing of hands, because you're going to be in contact with the food itself in terms of preparation and then also in terms of eating. You know, so washing of hands. What's the proper way to do this?
Good. Thank you very much. It's simple, and let me show you this way. Ordinarily, when people want to wash their hands, the first thing they will do is that they will take. How do you? If
You just
help
put
me,
water in a bowl and just do this, and then they are done.
that is one. Do you put soap before?
No, they
the-
put soap after they eat.
No. If you cause that, when people want to wash their hands, the first thing they will do that they will just squeeze soap
Scrape the soap first. Yes.
before they
Before you
will
wash
go
the
for
hand.
water.
Put your hand under
And
the water.
sometimes people get surprised because by the time they put the soap there, the tap will not be running. So you see what happens.
happens.
the
So you have to
fir-
check
It happens
first.
all the time.
Thank you. So the best approach is wet your hand
Okay.
with water, and that will prepare the hands
For the soap.
to get contact with the soap. Because if you don't put water and you put the soap there, it is dry. It will not be able to act.
Okay.
That's the first, and that's why you moist your
Hands
or
with a
wet
bit of
your,
water.
your hand with water before you apply the soap. And then when you apply the soap, don't immediately put your hands under the water. You should rather you should take time,
For how many seconds?
about at least 5 seconds at each session.
Okay.
You through the palm, the back, in between the hands, and also the fingers. You must make sure you've done all this. And when you are done, then you put it under running water. Yeah.
Percy.
After that, you do dry, what do you call it?
With a clean,
or a
towel.
disposable tissue paper. Now have them available,
Yeah.
so that you don't reuse it.
Percy, thank you so much for being with us on this
a
World
pleasure.
Food Safety Day. It's a very important topic for us. So all those who want to join the Zoom call, where do we find out more information?
Yes, you can get a lot of information on activity for today at 0302 233 200.
And of course, they're looking at it on the screen
Oh,
as
okay.
well.
Yes.
But go ahead.
So, and also 02 235 100. And you can also, we don't want it to become a cost to the general public. You can also call the toll free 0800 15 1000. Okay. Or our social media network 055 111 2224.
And it's happening in exactly 1 hour.
Sure.
We have some solid people there. We have Madam Hall from FAO. We have Professor Latte, who's a former director of nutrition, also from the FAO, and a former president of the International Union of Nutritional Scientists. We have Honorable Kweku A. Manu from the Ministry of Health, and of course, you have our very own CEO of the FDA, Mrs. Delise Darkon, is going to be there. So if you're passionate about food safety, if you love food, you don't want to miss this. Thank you so much, Percy.
It's a pleasure. And thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, we've been speaking with Percy